How you doing on your nostalgia out there, kids? We talk about that a lot on the 6M. We talk about it on other podcasts we have, and it comes up a lot because in this day and age, if you're paying attention to anything coming out of Hollywood, then from top to bottom, front to back, nostalgia rules. The days of having an original idea and it becoming a movie and making $1 billion or whatever, those that's so far between and so very rare that when you do see something original, you gravitate to it and say, this is the best thing I ever saw. But for the most part, nostalgia rules. Stuff that we grew up with, guys our age and maybe younger, maybe even older, like that stuff, the reboots and the reworks and the sequels and the prequels and, all that stuff, man, again, nostalgia rules. So we're used to that. But sometimes here on the 6M, we go through nostalgia, like actual nostalgia, and not reboots and not redos and not sequels or prequels or whatever. But we go back to the actual source material. And we're going to get into this here today about why this particular franchise has not been rebooted. So that'll be a discussion, I'm sure, as we go. But today we're talking about the Cannonball Run, not Cannonball Run, the Cannonball Run. I grew up with this film. I love this film. I don't know how it holds up, but if you're looking at the thumbnail, then you know that you are in for a movie watch-along, movie commentary. So you can use the audio version of this show to follow along, or you can put the video up and follow along with that as well. But you guys know how we do here on the 6M. We tackle it. We watch the entire movie. We'll sync it up, all that good stuff. And hopefully you guys will enjoy that here today because, man, I'm looking forward to this. Can't wait to watch it and talk about it. But first, let's do this. The Cannonball Run is a 1981 action comedy film directed by Hal Needham, produced by Hong Kong firm Golden Harvest. If you're an 80s anime kid, you know Golden Harvest. And distributed by 20th Century Fox. Filmed in Panavision, it features an all-star ensemble cast, including, and this is good, this is quality, Burt Reynolds, Dom DeLuise, Roger Moore, Farrah Fawcett, Jackie Chan, Sammy Davis Jr., and Dean Martin. The film is based on the 1979 running of the Cannonball Baker Sea to Shining Sea Memorial Trophy Dash, an actual cross-country outlaw road race beginning in Connecticut and ending in California. This is the sixth highest grossing domestic film of 1981, and it's the first of the trilogy. Part 2 and 3 came in 83 and 89, respectively. Again, as we said, directed by Hal Needham, written by Brock Yates, produced by Albert S. Ruddy, again starring an ensemble cast. June 19th, 1981 is your release date. Running time, 95 minutes. This is the best part. I always look forward to the budget in the box office. The budget for this film is around 16 to 18 million. The box office is $160 million. And that is your lowdown for the Cannonball Run. So, Chris, we have talked about this here and there, like I think on camera and off camera, and on mic and off mic. We're finally doing this here today. And again, I know I got some years on you, but did you like grow up in air quotes with this film, or when did you first discover it when you were, I guess, younger?
Yeah, so I remember seeing this kind of after Smokey and the Bandit, it being shown to me, as you tell other people that you're a big fan of Smokey and the Bandit, or as they find out you're a big fan of Smokey and the Bandit, this is the next movie, depending on what order you saw them in as a kid growing up. But yeah, it's one that I owned on DVD. We talked about doing it for a long time. I somehow can't find that DVD anywhere. This and the sequel is like a package deal. But this movie hasn't came on streaming in many, many years and has been kind of hard to track down. So it's fun that we're finally getting to do it. And when you were talking about that budget, it's hilarious because like Burt Reynolds originally didn't want to do this movie at all. They offered him $5 million to do so. So of that $16 million, $5 million of it went straight to Burt Reynolds.
Isn't that something? But he was the biggest star on the planet at one time, man. Like Burt Reynolds was, I mean, Hollywood royalty during a time when that era was kind of fading out. The Burt Reynolds era and the guys his age, that was maybe the last gasp of Hollywood royalty, maybe, you think?
Yeah, I mean, to some extent, right? I mean, we kind of got more of that in you're talking about like the 80s and the late 80s and the 90s, but it's in
Mm,
a different format. You get your big action stars, your Sylvester Stallones, your Arnold
mm.
Schwarzeneggers. They were making lots of money for what they do. Now you got your Rock, Dwayne the Rock Johnson kind of filling that role. It's just a way different look, right?
It
Like a
is.
Burt Reynolds as a action-packed movie star versus, let's say, a Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone type. But yeah, I think that there's something to be said about that. This movie made him the highest paid actor in Hollywood at the time of its release, which is
Mm,
kind of crazy.
it is. Yeah, and it's funny how things work because at the time as we're recording this, Lonnie Anderson passed away yesterday, actually. So it's weird that we're getting to this today. But yeah, I've been looking forward to doing this one. I'm right there with you. And kids, if you decided to follow along with us in real time, you may have found a copy, maybe you had a copy, or maybe you found a website. Chris and I found a website, and I won't promote that website just on the off chance that maybe we shouldn't be promoting that website. But I'll let you Google it and watch it yourself, however you can maybe find it. But yeah, man, I grew up with these movies. I have fond memories of watching the trilogy and um, Don DeLuise. The days of Dom and Bert are unfortunately gone, and Dom with Captain Chaos and all that stuff, and freaking wonderful, man. Like just great. As a kid, I wanted to emulate that so much because I was already a comic book nerd. So these movies just kind of fed into that for me too. I'll be honest with you. I don't know that I knew that this was based on an actual race. Did you know that going in?
I did. I think I found out about it later in life, but yeah, for sure. Now going back into watching it, I'm well aware. There's actually someone that set an insane record during COVID at like 25 hours and 12 minutes or something.
Mm.
Something like that. I'll try to get the exact time. Previous record holder Ed Bullion has a kind of a very famous YouTube called VinWiki, where he brings people on to tell their stories about cars. And that the guy who ended up breaking his record from the Red Ball Garage in New York City to what is it, the Portofino,
Mm.
Redondo Beach. Yeah, the guy that ended up breaking his record has been on there talking about it. And he broke it in like an Audi, and his average speed was 112 miles an hour across country.
Wow.
But there's a lot of discussion on whether his record should actually count because he kind of did it at the perfect time to do it, which was during quarantine. So there was pretty
Oh.
much no cars or traffic on the road. Another crazy fact about this is, as many people have attempted it over the years, there's not been any accidents related to the Cannonball Run.
That's
At least
shocking.
not any accidents with other cars. There's been some mishaps here and there for the person trying to accomplish the feat. But
Right.
yeah, it's pretty crazy. When you think about the things that really slow you down when you're driving, it's some of it's out of your control, things like weather or. But the big thing that they really get into timing out is like how long a pit stop takes. Like how long is it going to take you to fill up the car? And
Mm.
trying to factor that into your average speed and stuff. So yeah, if you're into the idea of this and you want to know more about the Cannonball Run, there's some great documentaries out there. And also the VinWiki channel has had many people who have recently attempted this,
Mm.
both successfully and not successfully. There was someone that did this on a motorcycle in 33 hours, which is even crazier because it's 33 hours straight. Uh, but yeah, it's really really cool. It's kind of crazy that people even attempt it, honestly. And usually it's done in teams. You'll have a little team with you, two drivers. But there's been people who have done it. There's solo runs, solo timed runs. You can find all this stuff on the internet if you're interested in the records and what cars they drove, etc. But yeah, it's real
Yeah.
neat.
That's crazy, man. Like the history of it's wild because Yates, as we mentioned, who wrote this, was the guy that first made the run in '71, beginning in '71. So did his son Brock Yates Jr., Steve Smith, and a friend Jim Williams. Began on May 3rd, '71, in a '71 Dodge Custom Sportsman van called the Moon Trash 2. And then it was made four more times on November 15th, '71, November 13th of the next year, April 23rd of '75, and April 1st of '79. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, this spun off other versions of this as well, like the U.S. Express and Gumball, and there's been a bunch of rallies that are kind of the same thing. But the Cannonball Run was initially, I mean, it's still going. It's not the giant race that they show in this movie necessarily, but there was a TV show where they tried to do this at one point in time with checkpoints and things, like a reality TV show. But yeah, when you're talking about movies, you don't necessarily have to think about being remade. I think this is one, yeah, for sure, one of them. The cannonballing in general is very frowned upon. The amount of tech people put in their cars just to avoid police is enough to possibly get you into some real trouble.
Well, I wanted to ask you this. I'm going to ask you this twice. Once before we watch it, once after we're done. But should the Cannonball Run be rebooted? Do you think it would work today? What do you think initially?
It's such a star-studded cast. Would you even be able to get a cast that could work as well as the cast does in this film? Um, I mean, it's kind of like when because Death Race is kind of like that, where it has a pretty big star-studded cast, and they tried to remake that, and to some extent successfully, but it's not, that movie is not the Cannonball Run. And then also, do people even have interest in this kind of thing, right? Like, it's in a world where you have like a billion Fast and the Furiouses, and we've moved on to more modern racing movie, well, more serious racing films, like F1 just came out, for instance.
It's
Before
true.
you had Ford versus Ferrari, we've had Driven. Are people looking for something kind of campy and goofy like this as far as a car movie goes? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
I'll go ahead and give my opinion now because again, I haven't seen this movie in literal years, but it kind of feels like it's just such a moment in time that you really can't replicate it because the movie's special because of when it was done and because of the cast and because of how things were then. Fast forward to 2025, nothing's the same. Everyone's gone or older, way older. Like times have changed. Like I don't know if it would be the same film. You're talking about ensemble cast. I was thinking about the Ocean's 11 flicks and about how that they managed to juggle that and those movies were hits. But like I don't know if it would translate here. I really don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, and the other thing is, how how much interest are there in cars anyways? We're moving more and more towards electric cars and people using them more as appliances than your diehard car fanatics. I mean, I know that some gearheads, petrol heads, if you're across the pond, still exist. Obviously the Grand Tour just wrapped up not that long ago, and you've had your Top Gears, but part of the reason those shows are wrapping up is because the cars that are being made now don't really, except for your very and cool sports cars, don't really have the same affinity as some of the stuff that you would see in this movie. It's like so if the car culture is not there, then the movie itself isn't going to be successful.
That's fair. That's a good point. Well, kids, we know what you came here for. You're ready to watch the flick. We're ready to watch it with you. And we hope you're ready to go. So here's what I'll tell you. No matter where you're watching this film on, be sure you have a black screen, and you just need to be at 000, okay? So what this means is when you hit play, I believe it's the Paramount logo that I saw first, I think is what it is. So just have a black screen, and if you're watching this on a VHS or a DVD or some other format, be sure you're getting to the actual Paramount, I think it's Paramount movie logo, be black before that, and then when you hit play, you should be right on track. We will sync up as we go. We'll drop markers that way you don't get lost, and neither will we, hopefully. And we'll stay on course. Stay the course, kids. It is a race movie after all. Man, I'm looking forward to this. So let's go ahead and do this, kids. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and we will go on 3. All right, everybody. So here we go. Get ready, all you listeners and viewers, wherever you may be. And here we go. On 3, all right? 1, 2, 3. There we go. 20th Century Fox. Totally screwed up. If you see a Paramount logo, you might have the wrong movie in. 20th Century Fox. My apologies. Oh, the animation. I forgot about the animation.
Yeah, the little car animation over the 20th Century Fox logo.
I forgot this. Dude, as a kid, I saw this movie like 1,000 times if I saw it once.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure this is one of the ones that I had a dub of on VHS or something that just got worn into the ground. You know, with a couple of other movies on it recorded at the low quality VHS
Hmm.
setting.
There's the classic Lamborghini Countach. That car has been preserved. That's the car you see behind me here, behind us here on the screen, folks. That thing has been preserved, so it still exists and it's been taken care of as we speak.
Countach with the ugliest front spoiler ever on the front of it.
Right?
I hate the front spoiler on this thing.
Who's singing this? It's a little hokey. I don't know who's singing this. Ba, 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 ba. I know Mel Tillis is in this movie. I do remember that.
I'm just a Coca-Cola cowboy.
This is classic right here. Classic spray paint the 55 out.
Can I drive 55?
Just saying.
This whoever's doing this song is a step down from Jerry Reed. I will say
I
that.
totally agree with you. I may have had a massive crush on the ladies in the Countach, if I'm being real.
I think a lot of young men did.
Massive. Massive. Huge. Yeah, that Adrian Barbeau is in the car.
Former Pittsburgh Steeler himself, Terry Bradshaw, is in the film.
That was Tara Buckman that we just saw with the can of spray paint. Yeah. I like the backup singers. Cannonball. I like that.
Yeah.
Bianca Jagger's in this. Look at that. Look at that cop car, dude. You ain't getting away from that. I promise you.
I don't know. If you're in a Countach, you got a pretty good shot at outrunning this.
Look how fast that cop's going, though, dude. That's not bad. Pull over. Yeah, that'll work. Oh, Lord. I feel like that Lamborghini's got a spoiler on the front to clear out cows or something. You know what I mean? Like when they put the thing on the front of the train to clear things off the tracks, you know?
Oh yeah, like the giant push guard or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
This is Ray Stevens. The song was written by Chuck Mangione, rest in peace. He just passed away recently.
I did not know that.
As of today, the new King of the Hill's out, so it's like a full circle. I actually watched that first episode before we jumped on.
How is it?
It's pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah, I watched it earlier today. It's interesting. My wife actually lived on an Aramco base, so there's a lot of tie-in. She's been like saying, "Oh yeah, that's really funny that they did that," and pointing out like how the houses look and things like that. So it's interesting.
We reviewed the trailer on Tom Clark Reviews, kids. Shameless plug on the YouTube. So go check that out. Oh, look, I forgot the Countach gets behind the cop car. That's a nice little how do you do? And then blows by him. Hal Needham, who was just a stunt coordinator and directed Smokey and the Bandit. And the rest is history.
Which is in the archives, kids, as Tom would say.
Thank you. Well done. The great Dom DeLuise, kids. Victor Prinzum. And there he is. How did they make it through one take together? How?
I don't know. Hamsters are a big responsibility.
J.J. McClure is Burt Reynolds' character. Oh! Right? We don't know who the him is, kids. The him he speaks of. Sammy Davis Jr. Look at that ride.
It's kind of funny to think about people betting on a car race that's clearly illegal and trying to somehow determine odds on said car race.
Right? Is that a Porsche he's driving, by the way?
It does look like a Porsche that had some kind of body kit on it.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Just the way he did. Captain Chaos. Been a cop long? That's great. I like how Dean Martin had to have a presentation when he turned around. You know what I mean? It's great.
I forgot that Sammy Davis Jr. is Jewish in this film.
Yep. Wasn't he Jewish for real?
I don't want to say without double checking that, but
I can't. I could be wrong.
he basically he pulled out a giant Star of David, a diamond encrusted Star of David. If you're looking for a timestamp.
There you go. Now we got the red and white plane in the air. I may have seen a runway behind the plane just now. Just a very brief glimpse of a runway behind the plane. Movie magic, kids. Movie magic. And drinking while flying. Is that against the law, you think? Drinking and flying?
One would think. How do you enforce it, though?
That's a great question. I'm going to need you to pull over.
Sammy Davis Jr. converted to Judaism in 1954 after a serious car accident that nearly killed him and cost him his left eye.
Wow.
So the more you know.
Sounds like the Al Green story.
Yeah, kind of, for sure.
With the pot of grits, you know what I mean? Whew. Land a plane in the middle of town. That'll work out well. Don DeLuise is walking around the wing, going into the... Oh, they went to the front of the store.
Yeah, get some more beer, you know.
Of course. Oh! He just referenced his own film. Did you hear that? That was great. Black Trans Am? Nah, it's been done. God, Burt Reynolds is an absolute legend, man. I love doing Burt Reynolds films.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do. We talked about it before. We'll have to do White. Wait, we did Gator, right? We'll have to do White Lightning. We'll have to do White Lightning. It's a more serious one.
We have the first appearance of Mr. Bond, kids. Roger Moore himself. This was my James Bond, Chris. This was my Bond that I grew up with. I think Connery checked out in 70, maybe. Maybe I'm too early. But Roger Moore was my Bond.
So I'd Pierce, really, realistically, by the time I watched any Bond films.
Mm-hmm.
One that I was super into as a kid. I went back and watched a good amount of them, later on.
Sure.
But I mean, I grew up in the time period of like Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone, like we were talking about earlier. So I was more into watching those Terminator 2s of the world.
That's fair.
I love this just close enough to be the 007 theme, but not get sued.
Right? I know the lady playing his mother. I've seen her on something else before. The bang coming out of the gun. Belly dancer. I thought I said belly danger for a second. Belly dancer.
It's kind of a crazy boat. The scarab being the belly dancer, or named the belly dancer.
Right? Oh! First look at an ambulance. It won't be the last. That's a good line. But him. Isn't that Hal Needham? Or no?
I am not sure. It's a good question.
Yep, he is. That's ambulance EMT Hal Needham. I think he showed up in the Bandit movie as well. Burt and that laugh. Man, I think Burt's laugh was maybe as iconic as Eddie Murphy's laugh back in the day.
They have seemingly determined what they're going to be using for their Cannonball car after using a plane and a Porsche and a boat. You know, things that have nothing to do with cars for the most part.
Look at a hatchback, man. We've been holding our breath on this, kids, because Asian Americans were not treated extremely respectfully at certain points. So hopefully everything's okay here. That's Jackie Chan, kids, and only his second film.
His first Hollywood film.
Mm. Has he exceeded 100 films? Because he made a lot of stuff.
Oh, that's a good question.
In Japan, right? So
I'm still wanting to get us a copy of that new Panda movie where you got to try to take care of a baby panda from getting kidnapped.
Oh, Lord. Look at that. Look at all these switches and stuff in that little hatchback. Jackie Chan and Michael Hui, as the drivers of a Subaru GL filled with gadgets. They are actually called, and it's Chinese, not Japanese. They're called the Hong Kongers. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. Yeah, there's some Arab music happening. That's getting. It's okay right now. It's fine. He's hit 3 camels so far.
Yeah, that made me laugh. Couldn't help it.
Oh, Lord.
And if you're looking for another Jackie Chan car movie out there, Thunderbolt, the 1995 film, which I think is only, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be filmed in Cantonese. Not sure if there's an English dub of that. You definitely can watch it subtitles though. It's a great film. It's a martial arts street racing movie.
Oh, this is the great Jamie Farr, kids. If you've never seen MASH or didn't grow up with it, didn't know what it was, he is hilarious. The character is a little problematic.
Yeah, through the 2025 lens of things, you see that being a problem.
It's a little rough. A little rough. But
It's 1980s. There was a lot of sheiks and a lot of various things that were definitely problematic.
for sure. And I know this, that's Burt Convey as wealthy but bored executive Bradford Compton, who planned to run the Cannonball by motorcycle.
Which is crazy. It has been done in real life. Isn't that wild?
It's crazy. That is my nightmare. Going out of a plane.
Going
Yep.
out of a plane. Okay, not purposefully riding a motorcycle out of a plane to
No.
parachute to the ground.
No, it's nightmare. I'm telling you, I got this thing about heights. I'm telling you, man, it's freaking real, dude.
I like they took a little,
Oh,
like while making a Evil Knievel character, they took a shot at Evil Knievel. So that's the
true.
dumbest thing I've seen since someone tried to jump the Grand Canyon.
Uh,
Yeah.
Mel Tillis and Terry Bradshaw. These guys were actually a great little team in this movie. And Mel, telling you, Mel made a whole career of his stutter. And like, I can't speak for the late great Mel Tillis, but I wonder if he ever got offended but that's how he made his career. Do you know what I mean? Was Terry's football career over in 81?
I would think so. As a non-Pittsburgh Steelers fan, I wouldn't know for sure, but I would think so, right?
Hmm. There's Farrah Fawcett, kids. Can't recognize her if you know her. She's a little under wraps here. Well, I'm just saying, and the shirt
So
she ends
yeah,
up in
Terry
later.
Bradshaw officially retired in 1983. So yeah, he was still an active player.
Mm.
His broadcast career started the next year,
Wow.
1984, which I know him most from as being the pregame guy.
This guy's been in everything too back in the day. He's one of those actors that was in everything that was made, dude. I think this is an actual race car, isn't it? Or at least
It is
a copy.
yeah, it's like a stock car. It's like a NASCAR stock car from the time periods. What they're going for. It even has the little NASCAR logo on the window.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This guy was in Blazing Saddles, kids. He was one of the townsfolks at Rock Ridge. By the way, Jackie Chan's been in 103 films.
I was gonna say 100 seems like good. You said had he been in 100, I'm like that. There's a lot that he was in that never came to America, right? So there's going to
True.
be a ton. I mean, they made 3 Rush Hours and 3 Shanghai Nights. That's 6 movies right there.
Right. Just 6. Oh,
Save the shrimp.
By the way, that was Bianca Jagger as Jamie Farr's sister earlier.
Did you ever see the movie Rat Race?
I know what you're talking about. I want to I want to say I have, but I don't have a lot of recollection of it.
It's
But it was similar, right?
yeah, it's a similar idea. It's a bunch of basically you can try to get there however you want in that movie, but they're trying to get from a place in Las Vegas to somewhere else. Essentially, it's a similar idea, but there's all these millionaires taking bets on it. But that's like the only time in this movie I can think of that's been like, obviously the sequel, but in recent memory, and that was what 24 years ago at this point.
Hmm. I was doing a pretty terrible Nixon impression, and JJ and Victor
Purposefully
showing up as
terrible.
ambulance drivers. Yeah. He's been in stuff too, this guy.
I like the truck has the flaming bird from the Trans Am on the front of it.
Right? Burt always had that look with the eyebrows and everything. Like he was thinking, do I have to film today? Can I just take the day off? Like, you know what I mean? That's where I can't remember his name. His impression of him was top notch. Was the eyebrows? Norm Macdonald. Norm's impression worked because of the eyebrows. You know,
Oh yeah, I could see that.
very expressive. He had a great Burt Reynolds. See people in the background who have nothing to do with filming this movie. What's going
very
on here?
very confused by this Bentley. Just
Here's Farrah, not so wrapped up. You know the infamous Farrah poster? I had that poster. I did.
I'm trying to picture the poster in my head. Gotta remember I was born in '88, so
Stop it. Stop it. You don't need to do that. Why you got to do that? She's got a red swimsuit on, her arms up, and she's got this great smile on her face.
okay, yeah.
Iconic. Iconic. I got to find this guy's name. George Firth as Arthur J. Foyt.
I like Tom DeLuise is drinking like this strawberry daiquiri.
Yes. Great. Let's see. Dean Martin is playing Jamie Blake, and Sammy's playing Morris Fenderbaum.
Who are now dressed as reverends,
Mm.
priests,
Mhm.
Catholic priests.
And the Ferrari they drive in a bit is the same car for Magnum PI. Not same car, but same as the model in Magnum PI.
So what is that? It's a Ferrari 308.
Hmm?
The Magnum PI Ferrari. It's a 308, right? 308 GT.
308 GTS, yes.
Yeah.
So Farrah just asked, "What is that? A bowling team?" And now Dom and Bert are talking to the girls from the Countach in the car right here. That was good. Adrian Barbeau, man, talk about icon. Icon. All right. Here's the scene I was thinking of because reasons.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's just reasons. That's all.
This is way up firm and high, maybe.
I mean, this was in the trailer. Betty. Just don't make them like this anymore. Maybe it's just because I'm of a certain age or whatever. But like, I watch a movie like this, I'm like, this is just it's just don't. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm older. But like, this is not. You just can't repeat this. You can't repeat this. You can
Well, we
remake the film, but you'll never capture this, man. You know.
we talked a little bit about that last time. What was the last thing that we did? I'm trying to remember now.
Fast Times.
Fast Times. We talked a little bit about that with Fast Times. It's also everything. Comedy films. You're not really getting as many comedy films in general, and it seems like everything has to be tied to an IP now, like an existing IP, which doesn't help.
Hmm. It's true. Oh,
She like, never gets through this story. Does she? I can't remember.
yeah, she's trying. Who? So we're assuming the motorcycle had a parachute,
I think we
right?
saw it. I think we
Did we
saw
see
it.
it?
I think we saw it parachute and then him hit his parachute, but I could be wrong.
Ah,
That is a terrible Goodyear hat, though.
not then.
You think that was high quality?
Then it was high quality.
I don't know, man.
I mean,
I
how
never
did Dean and Sammy get through a take together as well? Like
drunk.
drunk.
That's
Oh, and there he went. Uh-oh.
So the Arthur's character in this film, what is he a politician? Does he what is his actual job?
That's a great question.
Because
I don't.
it shows up he's trying to save the shrimp is how we're introduced to it. Now he's
He,
trying to take down cannonballing.
yeah, he's the antagonist. That's all we know. Oh, it's very close on that music.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. I would not be surprised if there was not a lawsuit filed at some point.
I think that's too close for 2025. I think you get a phone call. Right. All right. You got to change that music on your podcast, boy, because that's not going to work. And he signs it Roger Moore.
It'd be cool to have one of these Cannonball shirts. I know they have been remade since, so they
Mm.
are possible to have. But
This the original logo? It's not just for the film, right?
I'm not sure on that.
It wouldn't be an early 80s film without a sudden song that has nothing to do with the film and it's slower like a ballad.
Roger Moore has, to me, the coolest car in the movie. He has a '64 Aston Martin DB5, which is a really, really cool car.
That's
Same
Bond's car, right?
blonde car, for sure.
Montage of stuff happening. Look at all the beer.
Drinking and driving was frowned upon.
He had one bag of pork rinds.
For some reason, that just reminded me of Dumb and Dumber when he goes into the gas station and comes out with all the beef jerky.
The two guys who he says, "How's it going? Big gulps, huh? All right. Well, see you later."
Yeah.
So those two guys were not part of the crew. They were not actors. They were outside that convenience store. And when Jim came out, he saw him and just ad libbed the whole thing, and they kept it in the movie.
That's pretty great.
Isn't that awesome?
So this movie does not start from the Red Ball Garage, which is the traditional starting point of the Cannonball. There's also a southern route for the Cannonball, going from Florida to California. It's time different, but a lot of people have done that over the years as well.
And that is Brock Yates, kids. First car, here we go. That's right. Timestamp like you're punching a time clock.
I only had a manual time clock once in my life when I was working at Kubota for like 3 or 4 months. Every other time, it's been digital clock in, clock out.
I had a manual clock for years. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I've been working for a long time. But yeah,
It was kind of crazy they still had one in Kubota. It was still tied into their computer system, but they also had physical cards. So it was really weird because this would have been, I don't know, 2007, 2006, 2007.
Wow. Shall I give you the name of Jamie Farr's character?
Sure.
Sheikh Abdul bin Falafel. Dude. His car is a souped up Rolls Royce Silver Shadow. He's the only character to appear in all 3 Cannonball Run films. Can that be true?
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know that I've seen the third Cannonball Run.
The Cannonball Run 3 is just called Speed Zone or something.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen that one.
There goes the Hong Kongers. I didn't make that word up. Wasn't me. There they are getting the plate numbers of these cars. We'll show them. Farrah's character is Pamela Glover, a tree-loving photographer.
9 or 5 or 0.
You know what I like? Because there was 2 different females in part 2. This was not the same actress in part 2, because Catherine Bach, who was Daisy Duke on Dukes of Hazzard, I think she was in part 2 as one of the girls. But what I like about the female duo is they are not damsels in distress. They're sexy,
No,
but right? They're sexy, but that's not the reason they're here. Like they're tough. They want to win. Like I like that. Like for 1981, you kind of think it would be a lot of, you know what I mean? But it's not really that at all. Like
they painted the NASCAR stock car, I should say, just primer gray. I don't know if you noticed that. We didn't mention it earlier.
It's funny. Let's see. The guys that we just saw. We'll show them. Why advertise? Dean Martin trying to score with the lady driver. Good Lord.
A liberal wing way out on the other side of the church.
Till I get my wig on. These guys are 3 sheets to the wind. Who's going to drive this car?
Dino.
Man. So the tow truck drivers was Ricky Aviles maybe, and Alfie Wise as Mad Dog and Batman. That's their characters' names.
Mad Dog and Batman.
Yeah.
You know, it has been a while since I've seen this. So it's a lot. Some of this stuff is coming back to me. Some of these stuff is not.
Yeah. We had a car show down here several years ago, and a guy had a red Countach, and he let my kid sit in the driver's seat. I was like, soak it up, son. It's maybe the closest you ever get to a car like this. Woo!
They have skyrocketed in value in recent years. The typical 80s poster, right? You got to go to the book fair and get your Lambo poster.
Yes. The book fair. God, I remember those coming to school, man. All the time. My mom be counting out change to get me so I could get myself some books.
Got to get your
Oh,
Ferrari F40 or F50 poster and whatever Goosebumps book when I was a kid. Whatever the
see,
new
from
Goosebumps was.
yeah, for me it was Encyclopedia Brown. That was what I read all the time. And I forgot he points with his middle finger through the whole movie.
I just love Burt Reynolds' face when he says he's a doctor of proctology.
Yeah. This is Jack Elam as Dr. Nicholas Van Helsing, the same name of the vampire hunter. I like the way he went, fortunately. What's the gate here? What's the prize? I'm trying to find the prize. How do I not know the prize? Ah, there we go.
Yeah, sorry, we got some bad weather here, so
Oh, no worries.
I'm at
I was just
42.
trying to find the prize of this race. Do we know what the prize was? Because I don't recall them saying it, unless we talked over it.
I don't. It was a cash prize of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
Looking it up right now. They were competing for $25 million.
Oh, well, that's pretty good.
That's a lot of money in 1981.
Yeah. Well,
It's
it's a lot of
20.
money now.
It's $20 million more than they paid Burt Reynolds to make this movie.
There you go.
What timestamp do you have?
So they're in, he just dragged her into the ambulance and she's looking by through the curtain. Now she's turning back to talk to him. We got the close up of Burt and Farrah together in the passenger seat.
Okay, I'm back on. The Nobel Prize.
You know what I love? When you see people driving in movies, the wheel is moving the entire time.
It's
As a
probably
kid, I thought that's how you drove. I didn't know.
that might actually be accurate for this trans medevac van with a
No power steering, maybe. Have
stock
you
car
driven a car
engine
with
in it.
no power steering, by the
I
way?
have, I have.
It's the
I've actually
worst.
owned multiple cars with no power steering over the years.
It's the worst.
For,
Like,
for for one reason or another, whether they originally had power steering or
or
not.
not. Yeah, yeah. Once you get going, you're okay. But from a dead stop, it's the worst. Like, ooh. Especially if you're turning hard from a dead stop. Oh, there's that music. The infrared is in the cat's behind. Kill the lights. Oh, I forgot this. Look at that. Oh, they're going to cheat. You cheaters.
I mean, is it cheating? It doesn't seem like there's any rules to this thing other than you have to do it in a car.
Well, if you're going to be like that about it, you're probably right. $160 mph. Uh-oh. Suddenly their tops got zipped down.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And they're back up now. There we go. And for our female viewers and listeners, we apologize. As men, we try to be more respectful.
I haven't
Yes.
said anything.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna be honest. It's a thing. Ladies know already, and while a lot of men suck, a lot of us don't, and we're not trying to be disrespectful. I'll just leave it at that.
She does make a good point here about being kidnapped.
Right? Farrah's character is very, I feel like, underdeveloped, but at the same time, it's a wacky comedy about a car race.
She loves trees, so that's all we know about the
That's
character.
all we know. Jack Elam makes this movie. Look at him. He's great. Don't want to do it now.
The doctor's facial expression is great.
Ambulance is not a bad cover for a race because if the sirens are going, people are going to move out of your way. It's pretty good. And then now the ambulance is getting pulled over. Why didn't we fly her? Tom DeLuise was born to do this. Like he didn't miss his calling at all. This is exactly what he was supposed to do with his life: is be funny in films. So good. Did you hear that music?
Yeah. It's a really good excuse of why she can't be flown, by the way.
Right?
Delirious.
We're very close. hell! Look at that cop car, man. Look at that thing.
When they point at Dom's finger and when he points at Dom, he reaches out and just grabs his finger and shakes it. It's
Look
so
good.
great.
And he just passed out. Oh, I love how he didn't bother looking to see what just hit the phone booth.
What a terrible place to put a phone booth.
Right? This guy did everything. He was in Bush and he was in Bush Cassidy and Sundance Kid.
Oh wow.
And in Blazing Saddles, he was Van Johnson. Remember how everybody in the town was named Johnson?
Yeah, yeah.
Van Johnson is right about Howard Johnson being right. Oh, by the way, he was in Airport 77.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we covered Airplane here, so there you go. He was in Oh God. He was in Hooper. Dr. Detroit. Murder She Wrote. Let's see, which was he was in the film. No, it was this TV show. And
I'm just curious on who all returned for Cannonball Run too. I know that Burt and Dom, Jackie Chan did. Sammy Davis Jr. did as well. Dean. Frank Sinatra was in the
he was. I forgot about
sequel.
that. Was Burt even in part 3?
Part three, let's look it up because I am not sure, but I was looking at part two because I was trying to remember if the whole cast returned. No, but you get John Candy in part three. Speed Zone,
Speed Zone.
which is just a completely different. You get Brooke Shields in that film. Eugene Levy, Peter Boyle. Wow. Jamie Farr is in all of them, like you said. He sure is.
Crazy. Yeah, the actual stock car we mentioned was Donnie Allison's Hawaiian Tropic sponsored NASCAR Winston Cup Series Chevrolet stock car.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So the Ferraris, Sammy's trying to get them to pull over, kids. He said, "We want to bless you." Couldn't hurt. Jeez. Sammy Davis Jr. is letting air out of the back tire. You scoundrel. You cheat. Oh, I gotta bless her.
We specialize in blessings and Buddhists.
Of course, he's doing that the whole time. Oh, uh-oh.
What I don't understand about them falling for this is that they were clearly all at the same starting line.
Right?
At the beginning of the. Not to nitpick here, but. Yeah, they really do lean into the James Bond theme a lot more than I remembered in this movie. It's every time he's on screen.
Yeah, every time. CBs. We talked about CB culture during the Bandit episode. I was heavy into CB culture as a kid because it's all we had. It's not like we were walking around with cell phones. So, like, CBs were the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my life. For real. My dad was in a CB club when I was but a wee baby. And, yeah, he was all about it too.
Convoy fan.
Yeah, big time. I grew up watching the Rubber Duck, man.
We've got a great big convoy, ain't it a beautiful sight?
Mm-hmm. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, for sure.
In the lead up to the new King of the Hill coming out, I've been rewatching some of the old episodes, not all of them. I kind of skipped around a little bit, but there's that really great trucking Christmas episode.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
Yeah. They get stuck on top of a mountain, and Boomhauer has to try to direct Hank how to get down the mountain, and only the way Boomhauer can.
I remember an episode where the three of them were retelling a story that happened in their own words. And when Boomhauer spoke, it was just like this. I said, "Hey guys, we have, because to Boomhauer, that's how he sounded."
Yes.
But to everyone else, he was frantic,
Everyone else talked like how Boomhauer actually talks, and Boomhauer talks normal. That's the firehouse episode where they accidentally set fire to the firehouse.
Well done. What a great idea. What a great gag that is. Look at those old ruffles.
A big gulp, Dr. Pepper for me.
Oh! God, Sean Killicami O'Scanlan.
Killicami O'Scanlan.
So now the little Chinese hatchback the car is turning left with the Hong Kongers. Sammy's on the phone, kids. Japanese team. They're saying it's a Japanese team. All right, fine. Japanese. That's sick. I think there aren't. I hope so. Oh, gotcha. Cop's ready to throw down. Look at that.
Hit it.
Why'd he call me Shorty? Tom did the same thing with his mustache.
I just hit that. I was a couple seconds behind you. That's pretty funny.
Those things are such crap. I can't speak for every dude, but those things are garbage. It will never
Razor.
be. Yes, you'll never get as close as an actual effing razor. I just don't know.
I I don't. I think I've maybe used one once. You know, it's one of those
Mm,
things where you get like the all-in-one trimmer, and you're like, "This thing's terrible. Why am
yeah,
I bothering with this?"
yeah, dude. I for the longest time because I kept a beard forever. So for the longest time, I would just do the neck with the electric, and I'm like, ugh. It just always felt, and I'm like, I can't keep doing this.
You would think that they would have gotten better over the years. That's the other thing, and it doesn't seem like they have from the ones I've used.
Yeah,
I think it just depends on the kind of facial hair you have, right? Like more than
yeah.
anything.
It's a stakeout. Bon appetit.
It's a stakeout. Bon appetit.
It's good. It's a little felony among friends. I don't know. Federal offense. I watched Charlie's Angels growing up too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know that I've ever seen an episode of Charlie's Angels.
yeah. It was. I'm sure, like everything else from that era, it doesn't age wonderfully well on every episode, but mostly because it's wacky and weird. But man, I grew up watching that stuff for sure.
I'm aware of Charlie's Angels, and I'd watched the remake, the movies. The remake is when I was a teenager, I guess.
Hmm.
But I don't think I've ever sat down and watched an actual episode of Charlie Angel. I don't even remember seeing it in syndication when I was a kid. I watched a lot of stuff
Wow,
in reruns, but I don't remember ever watching an episode of Charlie's Angels.
crazy. It was on air for a while, I think. Maybe 10 years sounds long. I don't know if it was 10 years.
We brought up Mash earlier, and then like when I knew I had stayed up way too late, it's when Mash would come on. That's Mash would usually come on at like I don't know, like 2 or 3 in the morning on TBS.
Mm,
So if you stayed up too late, you'd hear the doo 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 doo. You're like, oh man,
right.
it's too late.
Let's see. Charlie's Angels. 5 years, 115 episodes from 76 to 81. So it ended right around the time this movie came out.
So
Why
yeah,
was I
it
thinking?
was them. I'm thinking of like how long was it on, and because anything over 100 episodes usually gets rerun syndication, and I don't recall ever seeing an episode of it when I was growing up. Not even on like Nick at Night or anything.
Well, the threshold is 100 episodes for syndication, right? So it hit it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it probably was on for years and years, but I don't ever recall seeing an episode.
Thanks to the good people at Nick at Night, we still have that older TV still happening.
Well, a lot of that stuff has moved over to like Pluto and other various free TVs where they just have one channel that is just that show. Like I know Sanford and Son has a channel, and I think the Beverly Hillbillies has a channel on Pluto.
Nice.
So if you just want to drop it and catch a couple episodes, you can.
Oh, and the van! Look at that van. Come on, man! Like a bomb went off. All right.
That's how cars explode.
Well, apparently.
I've seen it happen.
It's happened too many times for it to not be real.
Keep on trucking.
It's weird because last time we saw these guys, it was night. The next time we see them, it's at night.
They would be so far ahead of everyone else that the only way they would lose is if they wrecked at this point.
Yeah.
Because everyone else has had multiple holdups.
It said warning radar on the screen.
Yeah.
Smoky.
Got to get into the radar detectors. Laser jammers.
That's fun. He just threw the phone out the window. That's funny. Notice how I didn't even comment this time?
No.
I didn't say a word.
So we're going to have to talk about this character 3 times if we do all of these.
Oh my God, right? It's his alter ego he's been talking about this whole time. Captain Chaos. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
God, that music, man, I swear. Every single time. And the way that car sounds.
Yeah, exactly how Subarus sound for sure.
Sure. So his partner, Michael Hui, man, I hope I'm not getting that wrong. He's the eldest of the four brothers, with Ricky, Sam, and Stanley, who are prominent figures in the Hong Kong entertainment industry, 70s and 80s. He's considered by many critics to be one of the foremost comedians of the Hong Kong film industry. He's still with us. He's 82.
Lots of long, productive life there.
No
82.
kidding. This I remember because they try again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Didn't work this time.
it's Valerie Perrine. Little cameo there.
Valerie Perrin. What else has she been in?
Oh man, she was around for a long time. She's still with us too.
Pulling it up.
Superman 2. She was Eve Tessmacher. Miss Tessmacher.
Oh yeah, yeah. Good call.
Yeah.
She looks so familiar. I was like, I know that I've seen her in something.
Look at that cop car. Jeez.
She was in the on-screen adaptation of the Slaughterhouse Five as the
Oh,
kidnapped bride. Let's see. The Last American Hero, played by played Jeff Bridges' girlfriend in the sports drama based on a true life race car driver.
nice. He's putting a videotape into that console.
Yeah, really, the only thing I would have known her from is had to have been Superman, Superman 2.
Hmm. He's watching a porn on here in the car. Oh, to answer your question of how in the world they couldn't win, this is probably part of how they don't win.
Yeah, I forgot about this.
One 120 miles an hour on the Rolls Royce.
There's a documentary that is about the actual Behind the Green Door, which was a famous porno film that was
Mm-hmm.
released with one of the first interracial scenes. It's a
Oh,
pretty interesting watch.
see, porn brings us together, kids. First interracial. Come on, Star Trek and porn. And without it, where would we be today? You know,
Starred Marilyn Chambers.
saying.
A fantasy soft-driven soft narrative about a woman taking to an elite erotic theater.
Ah,
Is considered one of the biggest films of the golden age of porn, alongside of Deep Throat.
hmm.
The more you know.
Yeah, the name of that other movie always seemed too on the nose to me. I'm just, of all the things to name it, you went with that, right?
The details on the Behind the Green Door are really kind of crazy.
Interesting.
It's worth a if I'll try to find what the name of that documentary was. It's a clean documentary; anyone can watch it, but it is
Ah,
definitely about the golden age of porn.
there was Batman and who was his partner? and Mad Dog. We just missed him. That dude's still doing a wheelie down the highway. I don't know why the fascination was showing us have this guy doing a wheelie the entire movie, but all right. And somehow they ended up out in the desert in another race. What's the word for this? What's this racing? Out in the desert like this?
Well, this is like Dune racing. They're Dune. They're like in
Yeah.
Dune buggies, but there's rally car racing.
Yeah. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. My dad had a dune buggy when I was a kid. A red one. I have memories of that dune buggy. Probably the most unsafe vehicle on the road, right? Like, at least in the 70s, they were, I'm sure.
Johnny Keys was the African American actor in Behind the Green Door. That's what I
Ah,
was trying to find.
look at that car up in the air with the greatest of ease.
It's got a rocket on it.
Well, there you go. What was that for? Chocolate monk.
It's
Bring
funny they went.
friends.
It's funny they went with nose here instead of. It's like we got to keep this
Right?
movie clean right after they did the last two or three jokes.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, you would think that someone would try to find an alternate route.
Of course. But no one seems to be thinking of that. Didn't the cop tell me to be about 5 minutes?
Yeah, and I don't
Or
know
the,
how that would be.
how's that achievable? There's a lot of dirt across that highway.
And now the Hell's Angels have shown up.
The great Peter Fonda, Easy Rider himself. He's
Easy
wearing the
Rider
Stars and
is
Stripes jacket from Easy Rider, man.
Easy Rider is such a weird, interesting movie.
It is. So apparently, this bit was put in for Jackie Chan and others to have an excuse to show off their fighting skills. Because it's
Makes
about to
sense.
go
I mean, if
down.
you have Jackie Chan,
Hmm.
it's not a bad time to highlight what he
Oh,
can do.
and Captain Chaos, of course. They bowed first. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm Roger Moore. Who? He ain't going. I won't comment on what we just saw because that was a little creepy.
Yeah. I do like Sammy Davis Jr. just walking away. He's like, no, I'm good.
I think you're a little behind me right now, but the
Yeah.
bit with the house and the two girls, that's the creepy bit.
No, I just saw it. Where Captain, Captain
Yeah,
Chaos
right?
made the rescue.
Wow. Oh! Why is he out there on the phone? How is he out there on the phone? There's a doc. Oh. That's Robert Tessier, or could be Tessier. He is a biker movie veteran. Oh, Lord. Need some help? I love how the rest of the time he's very mild mannered, of course, but as soon as he puts that stuff on, he's a bad guy or a bad dude. Oh, that was good. That shows you guys just told him the road's
The
open.
road is open, yeah.
Like that line of car. Is this all the competitors?
All of the competitors, that are left or I guess still in the race. It seemed like there were more at the beginning.
Right?
Not these are definitely all of our main characters for
Well,
sure.
there you go. Uh-oh. Oh! Boy, if he's kicking him, I'm the Queen of England, buddy. It's
What are you
fine.
talking about? Looks good.
It's fine.
Close enough for rock and roll, brother.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's a good kick.
Yeah, classic, David Lee Roth there.
Ah. I think he's got dissociative personality disorder, does Victor.
Yeah, for sure.
And that dude is still. Why the entire film they had this guy doing a wheelie instead of just riding the freaking bike?
I think the joke is that his partner is fat. So
Is that the joke?
that's the whole joke.
That's a horrible
Because at one
joke.
point he's like, lean forward, like earlier in the film.
Right. Oh man, look at this. Captain Chaos is back. He's back behind the wheel, kids. You know the end credits are coming up, and like I think that's just part of the charm of the Cannonball Run franchise was the end credits. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
and they started it. Burt Reynolds. I don't know. I can't say Smokey and the Bandit was the first film to ever do it, but it was the first Burt film to ever do it. And because of the end credits, Jackie loved the idea of doing this so much. Jackie Chan started incorporating this into his films as well, which is why you see a lot of like Rush Hour had end credit stuff.
The stunt reel bloopers and stuff.
Yeah. Well, that too. Yeah, for sure. For sure. She's telling him, I've seen your every single one of your movies. And now we see the priest back in the Ferrari. Sammy's just trying to get rich. That's all.
Yeah, they're so worried. He's so worried about betting on all of the odds of the race of various cars, but the prize is $25 million.
Isn't that odd? Look, he's beating everyone.
I know, it's ridiculous. It's great.
And Bird just tackled the whole gang. Oh no. I remember this now.
Yeah.
The ladies won.
Yeah. That's the grand. It's not actually a baby either.
As a kid, I was truly bothered by this.
How mean he is to his.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He did just lose $25 million.
Wait. Oh my God. I like how it came from out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's great. We didn't get near enough Mel Tillis in this movie, buddy. Not even close.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot outside of the beginning, right?
That was it. Oh, this is probably going to end well for him.
Yeah, it's such a great build up because they've been teasing the lighter spot the whole the whole film.
Nope. Had a cartoon sound effect with it.
Yeah.
in
You know
Burt
what's
Reynolds,
too upset about losing, honestly?
I was just gonna say in Burt Reynolds' universe, it's fine. I still look like this. I'm still easy and carefree. We're all good. How do you wrap up your movie with this?
You've got to have a dream to make a dream come true, Tom.
Do you though?
That's what the
I
song
guess so.
says.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Takeouts or outtakes, kids. Don't answer anything. Oh Lord. Bleeds. God.
That's really funny. They had to credit behind the green door
Right?
at the very end of the hilarious.
Now I want to see part 2.
I know, right?
The funny bit is part 2's on YouTube, I think, for free.
Right.
But part 1 is not. It's very odd. Very odd. Man, I had forgotten a lot of that movie, dude. Like a lot of that movie.
Same thing. It's like one of those weird things where, I remember certain parts of it very, very well. Like I definitely remembered who won.
Mm.
And I remembered the fixing, like him, Dom DeLuise underneath the truck, fixing it with a sheet over top of it. There was like certain specific gags that I remembered, but there was a lot of stuff that I had forgotten,
Right.
honestly.
Well, there you have it, kids. We have gotten the first Cannonball Run film in the can, and yeah, awesome. Again, I haven't seen this movie in years, but by the way, before we wrap this up, does this hold up for you?
It does. I mean, it's still a fun movie. It's very nostalgic for me, so I think I'd probably look at it a little different than other people. But
Mm,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, it's a fun one. That infamous plane scene, now that I saw Georgia at the end of that movie, was actually filmed in downtown Covington in the historic
Nice.
square. And it required local power lines to be removed so they could do it.
That's cool.
It's pretty
Man, I
neat.
bet that was no small feat right there.
I know, right? It's pretty crazy.
So, I told you I was going to ask you twice. After having watched the film and experienced it again, would a reboot work, or are you going to stick to your guns of what you said to begin with?
I mean, I think you could do something. I don't think that you could just limit it to cars,
Oh,
right? Like,
interesting.
kind of take what they did with Rat Race and expand upon it a bit,
Uh,
maybe. But yeah,
interesting.
I mean, you could definitely do like a crazy. What was the? I'm trying to think of the other movie that's kind of. Man, let's see here. I'm finding the name of it so I can. It's a mad world, right? Like, wouldn't you be basically
Yeah.
just doing that? Like a crazy race of some sort. I think that still works with the right cast. It could be a lot of fun. But
Mm,
I don't know that you could just straight say we're going to do a Cannonball Run movie.
mm. I would be curious to know, and I don't know if I have any notes on this at all, but um, how the what how if the rights are tied up or whatever. Um, yeah, there's so Warner Brothers acquired the rights to the Cannonball Run franchise, and in 2016 set Ethan Cohen to write and direct a remake as Cannonball. Andre Morgan and Alan Gaspar were hired as producers. Doug Lyman was in early talks to direct the film from a script by Thomas Lennon. Thomas Lennon is awesome. And Robert Ben Garrett in June 2018. But that's where it stops. We did not mention this. It's kind of a, I don't want to say buzzkill because I don't want to make light of it. But on June 25th, 1980, 24-year-old German American stuntwoman Heidi von Beltz, former championship skier, stuntwoman, and aspiring actress, was critically injured in a car crash during the production of the film. The original stunt person had left the production to attend an emergency family illness, and the stunt coordinator, Bobby Bass, called his then fiancee, Von Belz, to the set for a stunt that was said was to be a piece of cake. The car was to be driven by stuntman Jimmy Nickerson, required him to weave between oncoming vehicles. Von Belz was asked to ride in the passenger seat, operating a smoke machine, giving the impression the car was on fire. The car, an Aston Martin, this was the bit with Roger Moore, the car looked like it was on fire, had medical problems, or excuse me, mechanical problems, including defective steering, clutch, and speedometer. It also had bald tires and no seat belts. Why are you making the film with all this? Like, crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, like I don't think I've ever heard that before. That's definitely the scene where they're using the smoke and oil
Yep.
in the DB5.
Yep.
Um,
The
Typical British
accident.
car.
The accident left her quadriplegic. Isn't that crazy?
Wow. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I never knew that. Never heard about that.
Yeah. Wow. She was eventually awarded 7 million, although I'm sure they fought her, which is ridiculous. And she ended up with 3.2 million. Much of the settlement went to her attorneys and to paying off medical bills. That's
Right.
crazy.
Yeah. That's insane.
Yeah, she passed at 59 in 2015.
You figure there'd be more people like because stunts gone wrong kind of come up a lot, right? Like we
Mm.
famously talked about the crow on here, right?
Yep,
Where
it's
this
true.
big conversation, but like I don't ever remember hearing anything about this one.
Same. It was news to me. Yeah. Uh, well, again, wasn't trying to end on a sour note, but one of those weird facts I thought I would throw in there. Actually, I was just looking through notes and saw it. But well, kids, there's the Cannonball Run, and we'll probably hit another watch along maybe of the Cannonball Run sequel. Part 3 we may just leave alone.
I don't think I've ever seen it, so I'm gonna at least watch it on my own because it's having John Candy there is intriguing enough to make me want to see it.
That's fair. I love candy, but yeah, we'll see. Well, before we take it home here, Chris, let's get your last word on the Cannonball Run.
Still really enjoyed it. I thought it was a real fun watch. I love these like hour and 30-minute quick watches from my
Mm,
childhood. You know, like it's just enough, a little bit of nostalgia. It's I don't know. It's if you've never seen it, definitely worth a watch. Hopefully, you watched it during this. If not, it's kind of weird to watch a listen to a watch along without watching along or
Right?
having known the movie. But yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of fun. Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise are very, very, very entertaining together.
Very
Same
nice.
with Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. Those are
Yep.
probably the highlights of the film for sure.
I agree totally. Yeah, it's a classic, kids. I think it holds up pretty well. I mean, there's some, again, hearing the Oriental music is weird every single time the guys were on screen, and then, but not excusing any of that, just saying, very much a 1981 film, but I think it holds up pretty well. It's definitely, as Chris said, if you for some reason you hadn't watched this, or if you're stumbling upon this on the YouTube and you're catching us at the end, go back and watch this movie, and you feel free to hit the commentary with us on the second go around and get our reactions in real time. Well, kids, there you have it. There is our review and our film watch along / audio commentary of the Cannonball Run. Stay tuned for a lot more. Part 2 coming your way at some point. Yeah. And thanks for following, liking, and subscribing on the Boink Studios YouTube. And that's all we got for you, kids. We'll come back with a lot more real soon. But in the meantime, that is the Cannonball Run.